Picture this. A 72-year-old Japanese fisherman paddles out at dawn. No arthritis flare-ups. Sharp as a tack. Still works a full day. His neighbors are the same. Scientists actually flew to his coastal village to figure out why. The answer wasn't some expensive supplement or a pharmaceutical wonder drug. It was something slippery, dark green, and it's been growing in the ocean for 500 million years. It was seaweed. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why people over 50 who eat seaweed regularly are doing something genuinely remarkable for their health, and why most people in the Western world are missing out entirely. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why some longevity researchers are calling seaweed the most underestimated food on Earth. Chapter 2, Why After 50. Here's the thing nobody tells you about turning 50. Your body starts running on a different kind of fuel economy. First, your thyroid slows down. This means your metabolism shifts, your energy dips, and your weight becomes harder to manage, even if you haven't changed a thing. Second, your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that protect your immune system, your mood, and your digestion starts losing diversity. After 50, many people have up to 40% less microbial variety than they did at 30. Third, inflammation quietly increases. This low-grade chronic inflammation is now linked to almost every major age-related condition, heart disease, cognitive decline, joint pain, even certain cancers. Fourth, your bones begin losing density faster than they can rebuild. And fifth, iodine intake drops. Most people don't even think about iodine, but it's critical for thyroid function, brain health, and cellular energy. Now here's what's remarkable. Seaweed, especially certain varieties, addresses every single one of these challenges in one food. That's not a coincidence. That's thousands of years of ocean-level nutrition. Chapter 3. What is seaweed really? Let's be clear about what we're talking about. Seaweed is an umbrella term for marine algae. There are 3 main categories, and each one does something different for your body. Green seaweed, like sea lettuce, is high in chlorophyll and vitamins. It's mild and easy to eat fresh. Brown seaweed, this is the powerhouse group. Kelp, wakame, hijiki, kombu. These are dense in iodine, fucoidan, alginate, and a compound called fucoxanthin that researchers are very excited about. Red seaweed like nori, yes. The stuff wrapping your sushi, dulse, and Irish moss. Red seaweeds are rich in protein, iron, and unique antioxidants. Most of the research on seaweed and aging focuses on brown and red seaweeds, and for good reason. Now you might be thinking, I'm not Japanese. I don't grow up eating this stuff. Where do I even begin? That's exactly what we're going to answer. But first, let me show you what the science actually says. Chapter 4, The Science. Let's talk about what's actually inside seaweed that makes it so powerful for people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. Number 1, fucoxanthin. This is a carotenoid pigment found almost exclusively in brown seaweeds. Studies have shown it can help reduce visceral fat. That's the deep belly fat. That's most dangerous for heart and metabolic health after 50. It works by activating a protein in fat tissue, called UCP1, that literally helps burn stored fat as heat. In one study published in the journal Phytomedicine, participants who took fucoxanthin lost significantly more abdominal fat than the placebo group. Now, these were supplement studies, but the whole food source is even better because of the fiber and mineral cofactors. Number 2, fucoidan. This is a sulfated polysaccharide, basically a special type of fiber found in kelp and wakame. The research on fucoidan is genuinely exciting. It appears to have anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and even potential anti-cancer properties. Several studies show it may help suppress tumor growth by triggering apoptosis, programmed cell death in abnormal cells without harming healthy ones. For people over 50, fucoidan also shows promise for protecting cartilage and joints and reducing the inflammatory markers associated with arthritis. Number 3, iodine. Here's a nutrient that barely gets mentioned. The World Health Organization considers iodine deficiency one of the most common nutritional deficiencies globally. And it matters enormously after 50, because iodine is what your thyroid uses to produce hormones that regulate metabolism, energy, temperature, and brain function. 1 tablespoon of dried kelp can provide your full daily recommended intake of iodine. That said, and this is important, more is not better with iodine. Too much can also disrupt thyroid function. We'll come back to this. Number 4, alginate. This gel-forming fiber found in brown seaweed has a remarkable ability to slow the absorption of glucose in the gut. For people managing blood sugar levels, which becomes increasingly important after 50, this natural blood sugar regulation is a genuine benefit. It also binds to heavy metals in the digestive tract and helps move them out of the body. Number 5. Omega-3 fatty acids. We talk a lot about omega-3s from fish, but fish get their omega-3s by eating algae, so seaweed is essentially the original source. For people who don't eat fish, or who are plant-based, seaweed and algae-based oils offer the most bioavailable plant source of EPA and DHA, the omega-3 forms that matter most for brain and heart health. Number 6. Bone-supporting minerals. Seaweed is one of the most mineral-dense foods on the planet. It contains calcium, magnesium, potassium, iron, zinc, and manganese, all in organic, bioavailable forms. For women over 50 especially, who are at higher risk of osteoporosis after menopause, this mineral profile is genuinely valuable. Chapter 5. The Okinawa Connection. Let's go back to that Japanese fishing village I mentioned at the start. The Okinawan diet has been studied extensively as part of the world's blue zones, research regions where people live measurably longer and healthier lives than anywhere else. Okinawans traditionally eat seaweed almost daily. Kombu, a type of kelp, is the base of their dashi broth, which forms the foundation of soups, stews, and sauces. Wakame shows up in miso soup. Mozuku, a slimy brown seaweed high in fukoidan, is eaten as a side dish. What researchers noticed is that elderly Okinawans have remarkably low rates of heart disease, dementia, and hormone-related cancers, compared to Western populations of the same age. Is seaweed the only factor? No. Their diet is also low in processed food, moderate in calories, and rich in vegetables. But seaweed is consistently identified as one of the distinguishing nutritional elements, and similar patterns show up in Korea, coastal Iceland, Ireland, and parts of Brittany and France, all cultures with traditional seaweed-eating habits, and notably lower rates of certain age-related diseases. Chapter 6. How to actually eat it. Okay, this is the practical section, because knowing seaweed is great is useless if it stays mysterious and off-putting. Here's the truth. Seaweed is much easier to eat than most people think. You probably already eat it. If you've ever had sushi, you've eaten nori. If you've ever had miso soup at a Japanese restaurant, there's almost certainly wakame in it. If you've ever eaten at a Korean BBQ, the little side dishes likely included some form of seaweed salad. Here are the easiest ways to start or increase your seaweed intake. Nori sheets. The thin, dark green sheets used for sushi rolls. You can snack on them, plain low-calorie, slightly salty, satisfying, wrap them around rice, or crumble them over salads and soups. They're available in most supermarkets worldwide now, and they're inexpensive. Wakame. Dried wakame rehydrates in about 5 minutes in cold water. Toss it with sesame oil, rice vinegar, a pinch of salt, and sesame seeds. That's a classic Japanese side dish. Or just drop it into any miso or vegetable broth. Kelp kombu. You can buy dried kelp strips and simmer them in water for 15 minutes to make a deeply mineral-rich broth. Use it as a soup base or drink it as a warm morning tonic. One small piece of kombu goes a long way. Seaweed flakes or powder. These are incredibly easy to use. Sprinkle over eggs, rice, pasta, or salads. They add a mild umami flavor, and you barely notice them. Dulse. A red seaweed with a naturally smoky flavor. Pan-fry it in a little oil, and it becomes crispy, almost like bacon. Excellent on sandwiches, eggs, or grain bowls. Algae supplements, if you genuinely cannot bring yourself to eat seaweed as food. Spirulina and chlorella are freshwater algae, available as powders or capsules, and carry many similar benefits. Algae-based omega-3 supplements are particularly useful. A simple weekly goal: aim for seaweed in some form, 3 to 4 times per week. That's realistic, achievable, and based on the intake levels associated with positive health outcomes in research populations. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. After 50, your body needs more targeted nutrition. Not more pills, not more restriction, just smarter food choices. And seaweed is one of the most nutrient-dense, clinically interesting, globally underused foods available to you right now. It supports your thyroid. It feeds your gut microbiome. It fights inflammation. It helps manage blood sugar. It protects your joints. It nourishes your bones and your brain. And it's been doing this for every coastal culture on Earth for thousands of years. If this video helped you, please hit subscribe. We cover evidence-based nutrition for people over 50 every week on this channel, And drop in the comments, have you ever tried seaweed? What's your favorite way to eat it? I read every single one. See you in the next one.